Girls' Night.
Hello, my sunflower.
Hello, Queen Dancing Creek.
Girlfriend, it has been a minute.
Oh my gosh. When was our last episode? Was it Devil Wears Prada?
I'm not kidding you. So our friend Pearson, who I was with him last weekend at your Aunt Michaela, Uncle Charles's Burns Night celebration for the Scottish poet Robert Burns.
Oh, Pearson went?
Yeah, so Pearson was
Slay.
there and he was like, Kiki, what is going on? Why have you guys not recorded? And I was like, well, and I'm going to let Elena explain that. But he said, you realize you guys have not recorded since September.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I did not realize it had been that long. So Elena, fill us in.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know how much I want to share. Oh my gosh, you guys, this fall has been, I guess the overall word I would say in the positive spin I would put on it, because everything ended beautifully, as beautiful as it could, but we just had a transformational fall.
Ooh.
I would say us and the ladies around us just had some big challenges to work through. And we were like, we got to take a break. We don't have time. We don't have the mental energy. Mm-hmm. So we were like, pause. We love this, but we're putting it on the back burner. We never want this to turn into something that's a cause of stress or anxiety. This is just for funsies, for us and the people we love and anyone else who stumbles upon it. And so thankfully, like after the holidays, all of those challenges, I think almost all of them fell into place. Mm-hmm. And now we're like, okay, we can breathe again. We can do the things we love again. Would you say that's an accurate
I would say that's a fabulous description.
Okay.
And I think it also is a glimpse for those of you who don't know us well into where our hearts are, and our hearts are with the people that we cherish. And, 9 times out of 10, because of who we are, it's women. And so I actually made us t-shirts a couple weeks ago that say women who get shit done. And that is how we feel. Our women have been supporting each other over these last several months in some, like Elena said, some transitional times. And I'm just so grateful for the tribe that we have around us. Not to say that the men are bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that women are awesome.
Yes.
Awesome women. And so now we decided to jump back in with something super lighthearted for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So, Elena, tell them what we're going to do.
Well, we were debating like, okay, should we do like a Valentine's theme? We knew we wanted to do something light, airy, fun, not a lot of research, just like chit-chatty, simple. So we originally were like, maybe we should do like Valentine's Rex, but I think what we landed on is we're just going to share our top 10 movies that we haven't had the chance to speak about yet on the pod. And we want to see, I don't know what her list says. I don't think she knows what my full list says. And we want to see like if we have any overlap. And also maybe you guys haven't seen these movies. And so if you're looking for a recommendation of a movie you've never seen before that we love, go ahead and get your little Letterboxd account out or get your notes app and write down the ones that sound interesting to you.
So I'm going to make my Letterboxd account when we're done here. I decided not to do it before the podcast because I didn't want my little sunflower to cheat and look at my list.
True.
So I was like, nope. And here's the deal. I went at this from the standpoint of, like Elena said, movies we haven't talked about on the podcast, but I strictly went on ones that you may not have heard of in the general public. They're not like movies that are hailed as, oh, the rom-coms. Like I went to put How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days on here, and I thought it is one of my faves, but most everybody has seen it. Mm-hmm. So I tried to steer clear of those. So.
I do have some like obvious popular ones, but I have a couple in here that are like near and dear to my heart, and like people may have heard of them, but you wouldn't necessarily think like, oh, that's one of Laney's favorite movies. So yeah.
Well, then let's start there, Lou. What's one that you think is the most surprising or unrecognizable?
I would say the one that's most surprising for me, and I think it definitely is a recognizable movie, but for who I am, it might be surprising to people that The Village is one of my favorite movies.
Lou Ann, tell us a little bit about The Village.
Okay, so we love M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, and I don't know if that's inappropriate for me to say his name like that. He is amazing.
That's what we call him in our family.
We lovingly call him that. We think he's amazing. And yeah, we watched The Village. I guess I was like early high school or middle school. And I was like, oh, like I hate scary movies. And I was like, y'all, this is going to scare me. And the family was like, no, you're not going to get scared. It's fine. It's more of like a psychological thriller mystery,
yes.
Like most of his movies are. But to me, I think this movie's a romance. Okay?
Oh.
Don't you think so? Bryce Dallas Howard and Joaquin Phoenix, gorgeous. Like, their love, I think this is some of the most romantic shit I've ever seen. And, like, she's blind, so she doesn't even know what he looks like. We love a period piece, too. Like, we are obsessed.
Oh, yes.
So, no, like, I love the concept. And I love the thrillery part of it, but the romance to me is the best part. Like, I think that's one of the best, like, romance couples of fiction, the fictional world.
Yes. It's okay. So you would recommend that at the top of your list?
It's not at the top of, so I don't want to even number it as like, oh, this is number one. Well, I do have my number one, but everything else, it's just like it's just an assortment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the same thing for me. So, but it's interesting when you said that about it's a love story, but you wouldn't really see it that way.
Yeah.
A movie popped into my mind that I did not put on my list that I'm going to add, which is Jane Eyre. But it is the 2011 version.
Yeah.
And the lead actress, Mia Wasilowska. Just so you know that you've got the right one. This particular version of the movie is so it's like a dark Jane Austen. But without giving it away, it is redemptive.
I don't even remember how it ends. Oh, I actually do. It's kind of dark.
It is kind of dark, but it's a beautiful love story in the midst of the darkness, like you were saying about The Village, which love The Village. Didn't have that on my list. Good on you for saying that.
What is one on you? Do you have one on your list that people would be surprised of or have maybe never heard of before?
Okay, yes. Here's my number one that people may not have heard of that you got to get yourself in there and watch it, and it's called The Four Seasons. So
I don't even think I've seen that.
I'm sure I've made you watch it.
I feel like we started it one time and we didn't finish it.
Okay, it's Carol Burnett, and which makes you think it's a comedy, and it's like a glimpse into life comedy. In other words, it's real life. And Alan Alda plays her husband, and there's these three couples who are doing life together. And at the beginning of the movie, you find out that one of the couples is getting divorced. And it's kind of about what that does to a circle of friends. And it's really interesting now that I'm in my 50s and I've had that experience in my couple groups. But even at the younger age, when I was in my 20s, this was one of my favorite movies because first off, it's visually beautiful. There's, like its title, it goes through 4 seasons. It's got Vivaldi's The Four Seasons music is the background music of it. So, and I'm all about a good soundtrack, right? So it's definitely worth a watch. It's got some great acting in it. And I do enjoy a good 80s movie with the clothes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that is so comforting to me. And I didn't even live in the 80s, but like I just love it. It makes me think of like the generations before me.
Exactly. So that's worth a watch. All right, your turn.
Okay. What should I go with next? I'll go with one of my ones in my top 4 from Letterboxd. I have She's Having a Baby in there. I know you don't like that movie, right?
It's not that I don't like it. I enjoy it, but I'm not like you and your dad. It's you and your dad's jam.
Yeah, we love John Hughes, like obsessed. But I love it because it's very few of John Hughes's movies focus on adults. It's usually high schoolers, which like is why
Ooh.
people usually love it. But I just love it, like you were saying, like love an 80s movie because just love seeing the clothes and like the houses and just like everything from that generation. But also I think they look like you and dad, like Kevin Bacon and what's the females?
McGovern, what is her name? She's from, actually, you guys who are out there probably know her from Downton Abbey. She is the wife in Downton Abbey.
Yes, yes, yes.
Elizabeth McGovern, I think is right.
I think they look like you and dad when you guys first got married.
It's true.
And so, and also like Kevin Bacon just is dad to me. Because of the whole Footloose thing. Yeah, I don't know if we've already said this on this podcast, but my mom and dad have this funny thing where they say like, oh, Ren married Kira because Kevin Bacon, his name in Footloose was Ren. And he also, dad loves to say, he drove a VW Bug. And that's what my dad drove in high school. And Kevin Bacon is married to Kira Sedgwick. And so they're like, oh, Ren married Kira. So Kevin Bacon is my dad. I think you look like Elizabeth. Don't know how to say her last name.
McGovern.
Yeah. And I just love it. And I also like, I resonate with it because I'm at that stage in my marriage where I'm like, I've been married for 4.5 years and people are like, give you that look, you know, when you walk into a family event and maybe you had a taco earlier. So you got a little bit of a bloat going on and people are like, oh, and it's like, no, it's just my fupa.
Everybody is waiting to see whether or not you're going to consume alcohol.
Yes, yeah. And then they're like, oh, what do you want to drink? And I'll be like, oh, I'll have a glass of wine. And then they look so sad. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, one of our favorite lines from any movie comes from that movie.
Yeah.
What's the line?
So at one point, like Elizabeth McGovern's mom is like talking about how horrible her birthing experience was. And it was just traumatic and all this stuff. And then her husband, which is Elizabeth's dad, is like, well, you're all right now. And
So we say that in loving jest to each other when we've overcome something, but we're going back to talk about it. We're like, well, you're all right now.
yes.
That's and your dad likes to walk around going, what I have on my desk at work is a picture of her. What I want on my is a picture of my grandchild.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that, and also, guys, that's got Alec Baldwin in it.
Oh, yeah, and he is pretty hot in that movie, but I hate his character.
Yeah, same. It's worth a watch. Again, and good soundtrack. Again.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, I love the music in that movie.
A John Hughes soundtrack is a good one.
Oh, and the scene, this woman's work scene. Are you kidding me?
Come on now.
I mean, Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, you know, the song from Stranger Things is a Kate Bush song, the one that they're obsessed with that gets them through the last season. And this is a Kate Bush song. If you want to get down on your knees and be sobbing like a little kid, try listening to that when both of your best friends' moms have died on the same day. It's not good.
Yeah, little trauma sprinkle for
Traumatic. Okay, Elena, here you go. Let's see if this made your list.
Okay.
Somewhere in Time.
No, I forgot about Somewhere in Time.
Okay, you guys, listen. I made this list yesterday afternoon in the car with Ren Roberts. We were headed to Aldi. Yes, ladies, if you want to be able to spend an extra $40, $50, $100 at the grocery store, take your husband with you.
Oh.
But
it's so true.
It's so true.
They get so distracted. They're like, ooh, look at this. You cannot go in the fun aisle in Aldi.
I did. I took him down the fun aisle.
You can't do
and
that.
And he goes, I can justify everything on this aisle. I was like, get out of the aisle. Get out of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we got into the checkout line, I was like, where did he go? And he came back with a candy bar.
Of course, because they probably had the Valentine's candy out.
It was like taking a kid. Like taking a kid. But anyway, we're in the car and I was like, hey, Ren, if you had to say what our favorite movies are that people may not know, you know, for Elena and I, what would you say? And he goes, okay, well, Somewhere in Time. I was like,
he thought of it before you could.
It's so true. Okay, guys, Somewhere in Time. Christopher Reeves, who was the original Superman, who has passed away sadly long ago.
Rest in peace.
And yeah, rip. And Oh crud, Lou, I'm gonna forget her name.
Here, I'll look it up.
It's she was a Bond girl, absolutely stunning. Jane Seymour.
Yes, you got it before I did. Wait,
Um,
what do I know her from? Oh my gosh, I know her. Hold on.
Sweet potato. She's been in so much.
She's in Jane the Virgin.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she plays like her favorite author in Jane the Virgin.
Okay, yes. She's stunning.
Yeah, she is.
And this is a very little known movie. It is set in at a resort in
Mackinac Island.
Yeah, Mackinac Island, and which is visually stunning. And as you guys know, that's Elena and I's number one go-to.
Yeah.
Is it visually stunning? It has an amazing soundtrack, number two. The story behind it is that this Christopher Reeves is an author who becomes obsessed with a picture in this resort that he goes to of an actress, but she had lived like 100 years ago. And he becomes so obsessed with her that he decides to look into hypnosis for time travel so that he can meet her. And it is worth it. Girls, I am not a Hallmark movie person, but I will say I walked in yesterday. He's probably going to kill me. I walked in yesterday and your dad was watching a Hallmark movie. I was like, Ren Roberts, what are you watching?
What was he watching?
I don't know. He said he stumbled across it, and after he got hooked, he realized it was a Hallmark movie. I was like, oh, Ren.
It's just like the Lifetime movies. Like, it'll get you.
It'll get you. Even though you know it's formulaic and you know exactly what's going to happen in the end, it still captures your attention. This is sort of like that, but I will tell you, it is worth a watch. And it's a great one for when you're like, you know what? I don't know why, but I just need a good cry. You know, when you feel like that.
It kind of scared me at the end. Like, it's kind of scary. And the ending is so dark and funky. I do remember being like, huh? At the end.
Yes.
But it is really good. And also, anytime anyone's like from Michigan or like mentions Mackinac Island, I'm like, have you seen Somewhere in Time? And if they've been to Mackinac Island, they have. Like, they know what it is because that's like the thing there is like they have like pictures from the movie and the resort and like
Lou,
they
we're
have
gonna go there.
Yeah, the resort has like a Somewhere in Time like weekend every year.
We're doing that.
It's expensive, but it looks really fun.
We are not doing that.
It is very expensive, but it's so gorgeous. I want to go there so bad.
Okay, well, listen, we'll have to make that some sort of a. Well, hey, listen, let's start a GoFundMe from the podcast. Maybe somebody will sponsor us.
Hey, our 3 listeners, you guys want to Venmo us $5?
Okay, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a more obvious one this time, and say Steel Magnolias.
Girl, it's the white whale, right?
Like,
it's the reason we haven't done it yet.
The North Star. Like, I don't even know how we're gonna even begin to like talk about that movie.
You know what, Elena? Maybe we should make that next month.
Oh my God, just like go for it. Just go hard or go home.
To give a brief overview for those poor people out there who have not seen it.
Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen Steel Magnolias, like, you haven't lived. And like
we're not being critical. We're just saying this is going to change your life.
No, but like it's based on a true story. Mom actually is like 2 degrees away from this family, or 1 degree away from this family, because her high school cheerleading coach was friends with the real life Shelby. But it's a real story, and the brother of the girl turned it into a play, and then it got turned into a movie adaptation with Julia Roberts, Dolly Parton, help me,
Sally Fields,
and then who are the other 2 ladies? I forget their names.
It's Daryl
Hannah, and what's her name from Terms of Endearment?
Shirley
MacLaine.
And
the other lady's British in real life, I think. Clary
is not British in real life. And I saw her speak at Virginia Tech.
What was she speaking on at Virginia Tech?
Acting.
Oh,
I went
cool.
to a thing. It's Olympia Dukakis.
Yes. I knew she had like a
Yes.
cool name. Oh my gosh, you guys. So Shelby, who's Julia Roberts, she has diabetes. And it's just this group of women in the South that are all like found family and just going through the journey of Shelby getting married and then starting her life with her husband and then just some of the trials that she has with her illness and the way these women support each other. And you can probably guess that it has a really sad ending. Yeah. Get the tissues. Just go into it and just be open and know that it will be an emotional time and just experience it.
Yes, but laughter through tears is my favorite emotion.
Oh, it's so quotable.
It's
We
so
love to say,
quotable.
don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Not only is it quotable, but it is genuinely funny in a lot of parts as well.
No, it's definitely laughter through tears. It's not all sad. It's worth it.
It's beautifully written, and kudos to her brother for being able to do that. Okay, Out of Africa.
Okay, I thought about that one, but I knew you were going to put it on your list. And I honestly have only seen it like one time.
You guys, okay, so we've got our Robert Redford and our powerhouse, Elena.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. I mean, come on, man. It is so incredibly gorgeously done, and it's clearly set in Africa. It's visually stunning. It's a gorgeous romance. It is the soundtrack I was obsessed with, and it plays on repeat when I'm doing studying or reading. Just everything about it. It's the senses. This is one of those movies where it ticks off every box of your senses, and you can just get lost in it. It's absolutely and it won all kinds of awards, and for good reason, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's a gorgeous movie.
Absolutely gorgeous. So this woman is, Meryl Streep finds herself living in Africa out of a marriage of necessity, a financial arrangement between her and a male friend. And he is a incredibly known philanderer, and is when they get married. I mean, he's upfront about that. He's like, we can get married because you need this and I need it financially, but just so you know, this isn't going to be a real marriage. And along the way, after moving to Africa, she meets Robert Redford and a romance ensues. And it sounds, saying it out loud, sounds tawdry, or it really isn't. And it's very women empowering, because she finds herself sort of independently running this farm in an unknown country and has to pull up her bootstraps and get on with it. And so I find it to be very empowering. And so if you haven't seen it, give yourself 2.5 hours and sit down. You will not regret it.
As we're talking about these, I just keep thinking of ones that aren't on my list, and I'm like, oh, like I'm thinking about that. And I don't know, like I don't know why, maybe because it's period piece, but like The Color Purple popped into my head, and I'm like, okay, it's not on my list, but like that movie like changed me. Also, I need to go see the new one that just came out, but I'm like, maybe we should go see it together.
Ooh, that'd be good.
But there's just so many amazing movies. It's hard to put it into one list.
And talk about the act, like Whoopi Goldberg in the original Color Purple.
Gosh.
You can't get a better acting. You just can't. She did
know.
amazing, like out of body experience where you're looking at her. You forget who you're looking at.
Yeah.
Your dad and I were having that conversation last night after we watched Anatomy of a Fall. We have decided that we're going to watch every Oscar-nominated movie before the Oscars. And so last night we were watching Anatomy of a Fall. Well, we've seen Maestro. Right now, we've seen 6 of the 10 nominated movies, and we just keep going back to Maestro. Bradley Cooper's, again, you forget you're looking at him. You think you're looking at Leonard Bernstein. You just are like, there's no way that he embodied this character. And to me, that's what an Oscar worthy performance is when somebody has to transform who they are into somebody totally different. And it's got to be a next level of difficult when it's somebody who was real that other people can compare you to. And so from that aspect, I feel like is harder. What do I know? But to go back to Color Purple, that movie itself, like Oprah and the other actors in that movie, you just forget that you're looking at somebody so well known.
Yeah. And
it's beautifully done.
I know, like, I've watched Oprah, like her talking about like being so inspired reading the book, and like going to everyone being like, we have to make this a movie, like the passion behind how impactful that story is. And I'm like, I'm so grateful she did that, because it's just such an amazing story. Mm-hmm. And the Broadway show is amazing. The new movie that's come out is a adaptation of the musical. And so yeah, I'm excited to go and like hear all the songs. And I mean, it's just, yeah, incredible story.
That's really awesome.
That's an honorable mention. I forgot to add that to my list.
Yes, absolutely. You got another one?
Yes, I do. I'll go ahead with a classic and obvious, but we haven't talked about it yet. And I'm going to go with a Disney, The Little Mermaid.
Oh, which one?
Original animated.
Okay, tell me why.
Just like I feel like everyone when they're a child, they have their like movie that they're obsessed with that they watch every day, and just like everyone buys them that character's merchandise and whatever. And that was definitely The Little Mermaid for me. I know that's your favorite Disney princess, with Rapunzel being a close second for both of us.
Absolutely. Yep.
But I realized how much I love The Little Mermaid when I went to go see the readaptation that came out in 2023. I was so emotional watching that movie, and just like I think because I was like, oh my gosh, like it just was like being a kid again, and like getting to like re-experience that in a different way, but still like with a lot of the same like classic aspects of the story. There's a part in, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, but there's a part in the readaptation where Jodie Benson, it's just a short little moment where she hands her a fork. Like she hands Ariel, Halle Bailey, a fork, like to eat some food that she got. And I literally like burst into tears. Like it was just such a cool moment. And I don't know, it's just something that shaped you when you were such a little girl.
Yes.
And has stuck with you for so long. And also like a lot of my own like personal dreams. Like I just got a lot of inspiration from that movie, even from a small age. And so I think it's just influenced me a lot, and it just makes me emotional that it's kind of been with me since I was a little girl. And it was with you too. Like you also loved it. So it just feels like generational.
I love that. Oh, that's a good one, Luann. Okay, here's another one you guys may not have heard of. It's called Down with Love.
Ooh, you're thinking of all these ones that I forgot.
That's you know what? It was your dad and I together. I can't lie. So
You had
Down
help.
with Love, I did, is Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger. It is set in the late 50s, I believe, and the clothes alone are absolutely stunning. Sarah Paulson's in it, and it's an interesting story about this authoress. It's actually a remake, but this woman writes a novel about how women should feel empowered to take hold of their own sex lives. Why can't they have sex without love? And they should be able to navigate the world like men do. Mm-hmm. And ensuing in this, Ewan McGregor is a article or a journalist, and he is told that he has to do an article on this author, this female author, and how she says that women can be just as powerful as men. And he is poo-pooing the whole idea, and antics ensue. It is cleverly filmed, beautifully filmed, and just lighthearted and fun rom-com. So if you haven't seen it, it's a popcorn candy kind of movie.
Yes. And the concept kind of reminds me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, where it's like they both think they're duping the other one. But
Yep.
yeah. And then also, one of my best friends, Sadie, she is a movie buff. Like, she does film, she's an actress. She loves like vintagey stuff. And she had never heard of this. And so we were like, oh, we're watching it. And yeah, as soon as she started watching, she texted her dad, who's also like big movie guy, loves the 50s. And she was like, you need to watch this. And he was like, I'm putting it on right now. Like, he saw the cast list and he was like, I'm watching it right now. So I love sharing it with people who haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's definitely feel good, just looking for something silly and nonsensical. This is your movie.
Yeah. Okay. Next one on my list. Let's see. Oh, fried green tomatoes.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I think just got put on one of the streaming platforms, which I was sad because we rented it like a month ago. But I'm happy it's on a streaming platform. I think it's on either Max or Netflix. I can't remember which one.
Your dad and I just watched this last weekend with his mom, Nani, because it's just a great one. Tell us who's in it, Lou.
Yeah, so it is, oh my gosh, just help me out because I can't remember.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yes.
Mary
Kathy
Louise
Bates. Sorry.
Kathy Bates, Mary Louise Parker, and Jessica Tandy.
Yes. So good. It is definitely like it's a flashback period piece. Mm-hmm. It came out in like the early 90s, I think.
91. Mm-hmm.
But it's like present day. Well, what was present day? Kathy Bates, and she's going through menopause, and her marriage is struggling a little bit. She just doesn't feel seen. Her son has gone off to college, so she's a new empty nester and just trying to reinvent herself. And they end up going to a nursing home to visit her husband's aunt, who doesn't want to see Kathy Bates. She's like, get out of here, girl. So Kathy Bates goes to the waiting room and makes friends with one of the patients. And the patient starts telling her about her life and telling her stories of this small town famous family that she knew, and like all this. It's almost like tall tales a little bit, but it takes you back in time, and then you're watching her stories as they happen. And it's just one of those, like, my husband is also a huge movie buff. I showed him this movie like 2 months ago. He loved it. He cried. He put it in his top 4 in Letterboxd. And he was like, this is a movie. Like, this is a movie. And more people need to see this. And I'm like, yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's got, the cast alone, Cicely Tyson's in it. It is an all-star, powerful cast. It's got some amazingly funny moments.
Yeah.
It's that mixture, I would say, Lou, of the same as Yaya or the same as Steel Magnolias, yes, where it's like, it's got that sisterly love, women empowering, funny, but sweet.
Also, I recently learned, I did not know this until I started seeing TikToks, and like, it's when I told Greg, he was like, how did you not know? But it is also, a lot of people view it as like a queer movie. Like, it's very like, has a lot of like lesbian themes in it. And I never like, just, I guess because I watched it so young, it's just never like dawned on me. But a lot of people see it through that lens that like Iggy was in love with, I forget her friend's character's name, but in love with her. And then like once you watch it, like the scene where she's like catching the bees for her, or she's like getting the honey out of the beehive for her, it's like actually like, it's totally innocent if you don't realize it. And if you watch it, you're like, this kind of sexual. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's like another aspect of it as well, if you look at it through that lens.
That movie is, yeah, it's another one of those candy and popcorn. Sit down, have a good time watching that. Mm-hmm. Okay, What Women Want.
Oh, I thought about putting this on my list.
What Women Want, since we're in the category of popcorn and candy, is Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt, who I will be honest and say is one of my least favorite actresses of all time. But I love this movie, and I could watch it over and over again. This Mel Gibson plays an ad exec who is a typical male chauvinist, just a terrible person. Mm-hmm. And through an accident, wakes up one day being able to hear what women are thinking. Mm-hmm. And Helen Hunt plays his new boss, his new female boss that he now has to answer to, and he wanted her job. And it goes from there. And it's just, I think, just one of those rom-coms that you can watch over and over and over again. And you can watch it with your girlfriends. You can watch it with your husband or your partner. And everybody has a good time.
Yeah, and also like being a marketing girly, I love seeing movies where it's like the classic. It's definitely like movie-fied, but like marketing exec or like I came up with this ad campaign, and like also I love seeing how they did marketing like in the 90s because I do digital marketing, and so like I love seeing where it's like, or even in like First Wives Club, like with her husband doing advertising and stuff, like, and they're like, oh, this print ad, like, you know, it's so funny, like how different it used to be. But
Boo, did you watch Mad Men?
I watched it over y'all's shoulders sometimes, but I've never like watched it myself.
Because for me, that was what was the most fascinating part of Mad Men, honestly. I mean, more, you know, of course it's a soap opera, but I was fascinated by the advertising aspect of it, of the way that they came up with ideas and how they did their research back then and everything. That to me is fascinating. So I like that part of what women want too.
Yeah, I love the scene where she comes up with the Nike ad, and it's like the road, it's about a girl running on the road, and she's like, the road doesn't judge her, like she can be herself, she can be free on the road. It makes me want to be a runner, and I hate exercising.
So she did a good advertising job. That's right.
She did. Okay, I'm trying to go a little faster on mine so I don't slow us down. I scratched out the ones I've talked about. My next one is Sound of Music. Just classic. Anything with nuns makes me think of my grandma, which sounds bad, but I should say anything with sweet nuns. Like, she loved Sister Act. She loved Call the Midwife, which also I'm obsessed with that show right now. So yeah, it just makes me think of my grandma and my great aunt. Like, it makes me think of Graham too. Also, because like her name's Maria. Like, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Like, my great aunt's name is Maria, and so makes me think of them. And just it's just so like cozy, comforting, beautiful, classic. Like, it's like chicken noodle soup, but a movie.
Oh, that's such a good way of putting it.
Thank you.
Chicken noodle soup, but a movie. Yeah, and it's got everything we love. It's a musical. It's got the beautiful scenery. The clothes are gorgeous.
Greg and I are obsessed with these TikToks that some people will make where it's like, try to guess the movie, and it'll go from like extremely hard to easy, and it's like 4 or 5 slides, and it'll be like a really obscure like screen grab from the movie, and it'll be like
cool.
Really hard at the beginning. The first one, like one of the only ones I got on like expert hard was Sound of Music, and the first picture was just like the pine cone in her chair.
Oh.
And I like immediately was like, Sound of Music. And Greg was like, how did you do that? I was like, I don't know,
but okay, I think I may have gone over my number. Did I go over 10? I don't know.
No, because I only have done like 6 or 7.
Okay. The Illusionist. Now,
oh
The Illusionist got completely overshadowed by The Prestige. The Illusionist came out before The Prestige, but it still gets overshadowed by it. It is Paul Giamatti. It is Ed Norton. It is, oh gosh, I want to say, I could be really wrong. I want to say that it's, who's married to I'm Bringing Sexy Back?
Justin Timberlake? I don't know who he's married to. I hate that man.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel.
Yes, from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, from Seventh Heaven. It is about a magician, but it's truly a love story, and it's a twister. It's got twists and turns and an unexpected ending, and it's a great movie ride, and it is 100% something you can hunker down with your partner and watch, which, you know, usually that is really why I love this movie so much, is because it's not this this is a fun night with your gal pals or your besties. This is one that you and your partner would equally enjoy, I would say. So give that one a watch, The Illusionist.
Yeah, that movie's beautiful. And it reminds me a lot of The Prestige. I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
But Illusionist is more romance, I would say.
I would say that too.
So
okay.
I just switched one out for another one. So I originally had The Princess Diaries, which like love, just like classic, like my generation. Every girl loves this movie. But I was like, okay, I want to put something that's like people don't know as well.
Yeah.
And so I switched it out for like more of like a guilty pleasure, lesser known movie, which is Where the Heart Is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Where she has the baby in the Walmart.
Oh, it's a book. It
Yeah.
was a book. Was it an Oprah book or was it Ellen book or Reese? I don't remember.
I think it was Oprah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
And that one also feels like a Lifetime movie. It might be a Lifetime movie. Was that in the movie theater?
I want to tell you it was in the movie theater because I think I went to the movie theater to see it.
I love that movie. Stockard Channing, Natalie Portman, Ashley Judd, Sally Field, and many more. It is like an odyssey. It reminds me, I say like, might sound a little much, but it reminds me of like a female Forrest Gump where it's just like all these crazy, it's almost like Tall Tales again, like, and all these crazy things happen. Cause like, yeah, she has the baby in the Walmart, but then it continues on and like more crazy stuff happens.
Yes.
And it's just very like triumphant at the end and just like how much women go through. And it's also Southern. And I just also love Ashley Judd so much. I think because of Yaya, I love anything she's in. So love that movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. It is a good one. It's like Elena said, it's got a lot of ones where you look at it and go, would that really, you got to suspend reality and just love what's happening.
It's like almost like teetering the line of like magical realism. Like it's like a little like fairy tale.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. Okay. Going back to Renee Zellweger, which you guys may think I'm obsessed with her. I'm not. I just happen to, there's movies that she's been in that I'm like, that is comfort to me. And one of them is called New in Town.
With the jazz singer, what's his name?
Oh, Harry Connick Jr. Harry Connick Jr. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I would watch him in anything. I would watch him watch paint dry, but that's neither here nor there.
Will and Grace, they were smart to cast that man. Like target audience acquired. You know?
Yes, exactly. Love him. Well, this movie is kind of little known and it's clearly low budget from the standpoint of the set design and the costuming and all that kind of stuff. Now, it does have a really good cast. But the premise behind it is that she is an executive in a corporation and she's going to be BFE in freezing cold weather to shut down a plant. And she that is the livelihood of this small town. And the relationship she builds there and the time that she spends there. And you can imagine it's very cookie cutter. It's very predictable. It is 100% feel good. You know, it's just one of those where you're like, I want to watch a movie that when I walk away from watching this movie, I'll think, oh, there's good people in the world and happy endings exist. This is your movie.
It is
New
definitely
in Town.
the Hallmark movie formula.
100%.
Big city lady finds a small town man, falls in love, teaches her what love is.
Yes. And it's cheesy galore. And it is one of those that it is my guilty pleasure because it is cheesy. And I am not a cheesy by nature girl. Well, maybe I am. I'm a closeted cheesy girl.
I love cheesy, and I've said this on this podcast before, but I'll say it again. If you love that classic formula of like small town girl or small town boy or girl and then big city boy or girl meet, you got to read Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey.
Yes.
Classic. Like, it's so comfy, cozy. Love it.
Yep.
All right, I have 3 left. I'm going to go with White Christmas.
Oh. What is it you love the most?
Like, there are just movies that have been passed down in our family. and White Christmas is totally one of them. I will watch it when it's not Christmas time. I love the choreography so much. Like, I love dance. I am not a good dancer. I love dance so much, and I love choreography. And it's just incredible. I forget the girl who plays the dancer sister. I'll have to look up the cast really quick. But, like, the music is so comforting. My favorite song from that movie is Count Your Blessings.
Oh, that's a good one.
I listen to that all the time. Like, it's just classic, and it's beautiful, and it's also comfy cozy. Like, they go to an inn in Vermont.
Are you talking about Vera Ellen?
Vera Ellen. She's sisters with Rosemary Clooney, and then they meet the duo, singing dancing duo, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, and they decide to do an act together, and then things go on from there. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Okay, so I'm going to change one of mine because of what you just said, and I'm going to turn to Auntie Mame.
That's on my list.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so kiddos. Auntie Mame, I don't know why I'm getting teary-eyed.
No,
Auntie
literally.
Mame, you want the version that has Rosalind Russell. You do not want the Lucille Ball version. The Rosalind Russell version is a classic movie that is so worth the time and is, again, visually stunning. Just, it carries you through the storyline is that there's this, I wouldn't say spinster, that's not what I would say, single woman.
She's definitely not a spinster.
No.
She's a bachelorette.
She is a bachelorette, thank you. And she is just fabulous, full of life, out there, amazing personality. Everybody loves her. She has this eclectic, amazing group of friends. And one night she is presented with her nephew to raise because her only sibling has tragically passed away. And now she has this little kid she has to raise, and she is not prepared for this. And it is hilarious. It is such a sweet movie, but it's so funny and definitely worth your time.
Yes.
What would you say, Lou?
Yes, so it's definitely a long movie. So, like, go into it knowing, like, this is going to be long. There's literally, like, an intermission. But it is beautiful. It's heartwarming. It is the trope of, like, exotic, fun aunt that doesn't have any kids. I have this book I haven't read yet, but I really want to. It's actually, like, right next to me. And it's called Guncle. And it's a similar concept. Like, I've read the description on the back, and it's this fun, like, exotic, like, gay uncle that, like, loves his niece and nephew, but, like, loves that he's just an uncle and not their parent. But then their parents die, and he has to take them in. And I love that trope. We also, an honorable mention to Raising Helen.
Oh,
That's another fun auntie has to raise the kids.
yes, such a good movie.
Just love it. And, yeah, Auntie Mame, like, first of all, if I had to pick a character to represent my nanny, my dad's mom, Auntie Mame. Like, that, growing up, like, she was always that fun, crazy, like, my grandma was a jazz singer, like, just exotic woman. And, yeah, just, our family has watched it for years. I remember the first time I watched it, I was probably, like, 5 years old, and my nanny was, like, painting my nails red on the TV tray, dinner tray, and, like, we were just
Yes.
like, you know. And so it is just once again, another one that's been passed down by the generations.
You got to watch it, guys. It really, I mean, and that's another one where everyone will love it. Raising Helen, that we just gave honorable mention to, by the way,
Yes.
is Kate Hudson and John Corbett.
And
Yum.
Joan Cusack,
And Joan
who
Cusack.
we love.
Who we love. And it's definitely 100% worth a watch. And that one, again, that one's definitely a gal pal kind of movie, or, you know, you're just your bestie kind of movie. And it's just lighthearted. Okay.
Love that.
I'm going to do my last one.
Okay.
My last one is The Saint.
I
Now-
have never seen that.
The Saint is a remake. The one that I'm speaking of is a remake. It has Val Kilmer in it. And
I love him.
please, at his finest, by the way, in case you're like, Val Val yeah, you want to see this movie.
Oh, I need to see it.
Oh, honorable mention, Val Kilmer movie is Willow.
Yeah.
In case you've never seen Willow.
Which I was almost named. What was the name of the girl from that?
Oh, gosh.
I'll look it up.
Okay. But Elizabeth Shue is in this version of the Saint. And it is a really good, not thriller, not mystery. What would you call that, Lou? It's a
psychological thriller?
It's like a heist kind of movie,
okay.
sort of, and romance, and it's definitely a watch with your partner movie. Everybody will enjoy it. It's got enough intrigue in it and spy kind of stuff in it, but it's got one of the most like catch my breath make out session scenes
And Val Kilmer. Okay, girl.
woo-wee. Yes, girl. So it's got some eye candy in there. It is just a fun movie. It is not a film. It is a movie, and it is fun.
The name that I was trying to think of from Willow that you considered naming me was Alora Dannon.
Alora Dannon. That's the name of the baby.
Alora, and that is really pretty.
It is such a pretty name. But yeah, so The Saint would be my last one that you guys may not have seen that I would recommend. It's 1997.
Oh,
So
year I
my
was
girlie's
born.
birth year. Yep.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the one you scratched out for Annie Mame?
The Thomas Crown Affair.
And what is that?
That is another remake. It is Pierce Brosnan, Rene Russo. It is a heist movie. It is, but this particular version, I've seen both. I've seen the earlier one, which I think was in the 60s. But it's just really well done. It keeps you guessing. It has some twists where you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's another one that you should watch with your partner. Everybody will be invested. It's got something for everyone. Do not watch it with younger children. It's got a very racy, fun sex scene in it. But it's still back early enough in the days where it doesn't show you so much that you're embarrassed. But it is just, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. And that is my list.
Love it. So my number one is Father the Bride, which like we have and haven't talked about it on the pod. We talked about the remake on the pod, and we did mention the 92. We will still do a full episode on this one day, but this is my favorite movie of all time. My one regret for my wedding is that I wish I had thought to walk down the aisle to Annie's theme from Father the Bride. That is the one thing I would change. I didn't even think about like walking down to like a movie score, and then my friend Hannah walked down to the Princess Diaries theme, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a missed opportunity. But anyways, that movie, like I saw a TikTok the other day that was like my biggest like fashion inspiration, and it was just like all these stills of Annie from Father the Bride, and and it was like playing the music, and I like started crying. I feel like I just wanted to be her so bad when I was little. Like I just love that movie. I am obsessed with Nancy Meyers. Like it's almost like a little too much.
With good reason.
But like that is probably like Nancy Meyers is like style icon, interior design icon, like writer icon. I just like if I had to pick a movie to represent me, it would be Father of the Bride.
I think that it's have you ever seen the original, Love?
I don't like the original, but I have seen it.
You have seen it. It is a touchstone movie for you, would you say?
Yeah, which is funny because it is Touchstone, like Touchstone.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what I thought you were saying. Which is funny because, like, Disney owns it. So I remember when I went to Traditions for my college program, and they have, like, all their movie posters, like, in the Disney University. And I saw Father of the Bride, and I didn't know it was a Disney movie. And I, like, got so emotional, like, seeing that. I was like, oh, my gosh. Like,
it's, and there again, it's, everything is beautiful. The costuming, the house, the music.
Oh my
the
gosh.
acting, the writing. It's just a beautiful movie. Absolutely.
And I love Martin Short and Steve Martin so much.
Oh, together. Aren't they delightful?
Yes.
They're just delightful. And you just kind of want to, this is a crawl up in your lap kind of watch it. You can watch it with your little girl. You can just, or, your little boy. You can just watch it. Everybody can watch it. Family favorite.
I saw
Family favorite.
one of my friends, she had kids really young and she's an amazing mom. She posted, she had a daughter, she had a son and then she had a daughter. And after she had her daughter, she posted on her story, she was like watching Father of the Bride. And she was like, becoming a parent makes you shift your perspective from like seeing it through Annie's eyes to seeing it through George's eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's very true. Oh, it's very true. Lou, this has been so much fun.
Yes, I loved this. This was a good, comfy, cozy, light episode back.
I don't know why we haven't done this before. You know what? We're going to do this in the future with television shows.
Yes. Oh, we should. Can we please?
Yeah.
And
we'll
then can
that
we
in
do
the future.
music? Can we do like albums?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Yay. I'm excited.
100%. So, but I do think that we have to just go ahead and bite off the white whale of Steel Magnolias and just get it over with, baby.
Yeah. I'm down.
All right. So you and I have talked about when we, what pace schedule we think we're going to try and keep. And I like the idea of us saying, for the time being, I think if we've learned nothing else over this podcast, is that we can't make predictions.
No.
But I think we move forward with the thought process of one a month.
Yes. At
And
most.
and see where that leads us. So
Yeah.
look forward to Steel Magnolias in March, everybody.
Yes. And we love you guys. We missed you so much. If you're listening, welcome back.
Yes.
We love you.
We would like to give a massive shout out to Kathy Hersig.
Yes. We love you, Kathy.
We love you, Kathy. Kathy has been our steadfast. When I don't have another podcast I want to listen to, when are you guys going to drop another one? And we love that devotion, Kathy, and we love you.
Yes. And I would also like to shout out Hannah Grooms, excuse me. I've known her since we were girls, and so I think of her maiden name, but Hannah Grooms is also a dedicated listener, always shouts us out. And Pearson and all of you guys, we love you.
We love you.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, and we will be back again next month.
All
All right. Love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Girls Night.